You're listening to the Everyone's Wrong podcast. We leave trigger warnings, safe spaces, political correctness behind to explore the extremes of political discourse.
Hey, you fucks, this is Everyone's Wrong. I'm Dave, a.k.a. the Great White North.
I'm Dustin Dark, a.k.a. Fat Jesus.
Mexican Jesus.
Man, I tried to break the race jokes this 1 week. Shit.
And I'm Ed Smith, a.k.a. the New.
The New. So what's up, fellas? Don't everybody fucking jump on the mic at once.
Is it Mexican Jesus just Jesus? Like that's
Yeah, Jesus.
I'm Dustin Dark, a.k.a. Jesus.
Jesus.
I swear to God, when I was working at that warehouse, Dave, that's what my manager called me.
Jesus.
Jesus. I swear to God.
Did you slap him?
No, dude, that's funny. No. I mean, look, it's like, nothing but men. So, there's a lot of jokes. I used to call one of my old managers Papa Smurf because he was about 5 foot tall and he'd wear like blue pants and a blue shirt, like matching every day. So,
Yeah. You know what? We got to get you one of those little French hats. What do they call it, Dave?
I don't know, gay?
Yeah. Well, anyway, the Che Guevara hat, because Dustin looks like Che Guevara if he has one of those little beanie hats on.
Oh,
okay,
Beret, that's it, yeah.
Please get me one. I will wear that bitch.
Well, I want to know, the first question I would want to know is, was the relationship between Papa Smurf and Smurfette inappropriate? Because I kind of think it was.
She was the only female in the entire fucking Smurf world.
Well, that's
Where'd
what
they
I'm
all come
saying.
from?
Like, did they come from her?
No, they were around before her.
Oh, because she was evil.
Yeah. At first.
She was created by the wizard, and
By
then
Gargamel.
and then they turned her good through their Smurfy goodness. Have you guys ever seen the movie Donnie Darko?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Okay,
No.
Yeah.
This exact conversation takes place in the movie that we just had.
Shit.
I swear to God. I used to be obsessed with that movie. I watched it the first time I took acid.
Like the plane hits the house?
Yes.
Yeah,
Frank,
yeah.
like the world will end in so many days.
I saw it a long time ago. It didn't have the impact on me, obviously, that it had on you. It may have had an impact on my subconscious when I started talking about the Smurfs. So, but interesting fact about the Smurfs is like the guy that created it was a Swede that was like right into mushrooms. And that's why you see mushrooms everywhere in there.
I don't doubt that. I mean, look at the...
Like he was high when he created it.
I bet. Look at the fucking... fuck the mushrooms in the background. Look at the whole concept.
Yes.
Keep in mind, like, his goal is to eat them, if I remember correctly. He thinks they're going to be delicious. Yeah. I thought I silenced that. I failed.
Failed miserably.
So, what have you done this week, Dave?
Oh, I went back to work. I did like, I don't know, like three and a half days worth of work in about 4 days. I didn't work today. I've just been, other than that, drawing, trying to tighten up those skills.
Yeah, you come along amazing. It's really interesting to watch your progression.
Well, I'm obsessed with it, so I don't think it's really hard to. Well, I guess it's hard to do, but it's not hard when you're obsessed with something to practice. Because if you hate it, then I guess you're not really gonna fucking practice at it. I'm pretty happy though. I'm happy I'm good at it.
So, Dustin, what's new with you?
Is that what we're doing? Or like a what's new segment?
I'm just being.
I don't know. You know what? Let's talk about. I apologize for the audio quality of last week, and this week we're having some problems here, but we're trying to keep the show coming out. So I hope this week is better than last week, and I hope we have a fix for next week. So how about that'll be my input. I'm also in the middle of a move, and just to explain why the episodes have been coming out so slowly, and we're trying to get back up to pace here. It's just, my job is particularly busy during Christmas, and I spent the first Christmas with my families that I have, and one of them 8 years and the other one ever. So, it's been a particularly busy season for me, but I'm back. But now I'm moving, but after the move, I hope my life is more stable. We shall find out.
And I personally was potty training a human being that doesn't speak and is 8 years old. So that was like tough. Got it done though. Got it fucking done.
Things I feel bad about laughing at.
Yeah. No, I don't laugh at that. Who gives a shit? Hey,
but I mean, you must be like chuffed. Like, I mean, that's been an accomplishment in the works for a long while.
Well, yeah, man. When I've been legit changing diapers for 8 years.
I don't know who I'm happier for.
Him, obviously him.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Calm down.
But does he like?
Oh, he's happy.
Yeah.
Now I feel bad again. Thanks, Dave. You're just guilting the fuck out of me with this kid. Jesus Christ.
Well,
you see how I made it about me? That was my goal.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did. I saw that. You're like taking the attention away from my autistic son. Way to go.
Oh, and you want it back, you son of a bitch.
Ooh. Snap. And the master wins.
I was just gonna say something real quick. I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast with fucking Mel Gibson and his what do you call it, stem cell doctor, and the stem cell doctor was saying that it works on autism. I haven't heard of this before, but I mean, he's talking too much of a big game. But Jesus Christ, if it does, then it's pretty amazing.
I saw that live stream come up, like I'm subscribed to Joe Rogan, and I went there to make Jew jokes about Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Yes. But the fucking comments were turned off. Broke my heart.
Of course the comments were turned off.
Oh, I mean, I wanted to make alcoholic jokes, ex-wife jokes, and Jew jokes about Mel Gibson, and it was stolen from me.
He wouldn't even tell him to stop clicking his pen.
Listen, no one wants to see Mel Gibson get all fucking crazy ass and beat up the studio, because then he would have to be rear naked choked. Well, wait.
Okay.
Wait, let me take it back. I would have loved to see that.
Yeah, everybody wants to see that. No, it was more the doctor that I was interested in listening to than fucking Mel Gibson. I don't really care.
Not me. Frankly, I don't care what some quack is saying. If you have the science, bring it here and become the richest man in history. Come here, get a patent, fucking push it through. If the science is there, stop bullshitting on fucking Joe Rogan. So I don't care about what the quack had to say. I would rather hear what Mel Gibson has to say. Frankly, I love Braveheart. Let's talk about that a little bit. And some of his other movies. And then all right, Mel, so about that phone call, it's been 10 years? It's been 10 years.
Yes.
Are you still drinking? Are you an anti-Semite? And how do you feel about the rise in anti-Semitism in the United States right now? Are you happy about it? These are the questions I wanted to hear.
Do you feel you took part in helping that along?
Yeah,
you son of a bitch.
Is it your fault? Is the alt-right and the Nazi movement in the United States Mel Gibson's fault? These questions need answers.
We know that Trump is.
Well, you saw the movie The Passion of the Christ, which is like a homoerotic fucking movie.
Not
it's
interested.
Sadomasochistic.
Okay.
No, I'm saying someone who created that is really into homoeroticism.
So Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
I was a Christian until 2008, and I didn't see Passion of the Christ. but like that didn't interest me so much as a Christian. It was just what I heard about it. It sounded like Ed is saying, like borderline pornographic and just almost torture porn. You know,
yeah,
like
that is exactly what it was. Torture porn.
Yeah, which is, I mean, don't get me wrong, I get that's what the Bible is, but if you're going to make like a really realistic story about Jesus, there's better stories to tell in great detail, I suppose. But that's been done. That's been done as well.
There is no fucking story to make. Anyways, fucking Jesus, fucking Mel Gibson. No, that guy's like, given, like, oh, some of the kids don't even have autism anymore. Fucking asshole. It's not nice. It's not nice to do that, man. Like, because
it's like,
because even though I'm like super skeptical, then I'm like, because obviously I want the best for my kid. Then all of a sudden I'm like, and I know I shouldn't be thinking like this. I know I shouldn't be thinking like this. But then all of a sudden I'm like, well, what if it is true?
What if it is true? And then wouldn't it actually make it a moral imperative for you to, like, it would make you the bad person then?
Yeah.
So there's that. No, I get it, man. I get it.
Let's fucking get into the show. We've been rambling on a bit too long. We'll be right back. All right, we're back from the break. Dustin's done jerking off. Ed was watching. I saw that, Ed. He was like,
all right,
lifting
I
up.
try not to.
You know that it's only 2D. You can't, like, no matter which way you turn your computer, you can't really see down Dustin's pants, right? You understand that?
Can't blame somebody for trying. Fuck.
All right. Well, anyways, first story that we have tonight is from Canada, Justin Trudeau. So like when he was running for office, or what we would call it, for Parliament, here in Canada, he had like a purity test for MPs that were running for the Liberal Party. They had to be 100% in line with the Liberals. That's the Liberal Party's definition of what should be a woman's choice to have an abortion. So like there was no variation in it. So like you can be pro-choice, but then be like, okay, but I only think that it should be in this time frame, or I think like both the mother and the father should have a say in it or whatever, but still be pro-choice, right? But no, you had to be exactly to the T of what Justin Trudeau and the Liberals considered to be pro-choicer. Flash forward a couple of years now, because this was back in 2014, 2015 that he had this purity test. He now has a new purity test. They've implemented a summer employment program for university students, college students, to pay off their tuition. So the government is going to give grants to companies to hire these students so that they can pay off some of their student loans. Well, it turns out on the application for the companies, groups, charities, churches, whoever is applying for it, they have a questionnaire. And on that questionnaire is, do you support the abortion laws as they are specified within the Canadian law? If you say no, then you are no longer eligible for these grants, which is against, in my opinion, and against our freedom of religion in Canada, because, like, it's a religious argument always.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's totally against our as you said, our freedom of religion, but he would always have said something like this would only be done by a conservative government. That's another big pitfall that Justin Trudeau is starting to do. Everything he promised that he wouldn't do, he's doing. He's taking this control, basically being a tyrant over religious people. And let's get this through. I'm an atheist. I don't give a shit about religion, but this this is wrong. When you have in our country where people have a right to believe what they want to without being persecuted by the government, as our fundamental in our charter of rights and freedoms, it's fundamental to our country. And you have the government trying to take that away. How long before he starts to take away my rights as someone who doesn't believe? That's how I think it.
He's in essence excluding people from participating in the economy based on their beliefs, right? Now, as a small business owner, right now, like I'm pro-choice. I probably don't line up perfectly with what their definition of what pro-choice is, but I am pro-choice. But if there was a right-wing government, or even if there was a government that said like I had to agree 100% with Islamic doctrine in order to be able to participate in this section of the economy, I really wouldn't want that. That's why I'm pissed about this, because I don't otherwise I don't care what they say about Christians or do with religious people, but because it could happen to me, we need to check it when it happens to the other side. You know what I mean? That's right.
Yeah, you have to be balanced in your approach.
Yeah. Anyways, I have an opinion article. It does have some of the facts, but Rex Murphy's a funny guy, so we'll read what he has to say. And just a quick background before I jump into the article. The first paragraph, he's going to be talking about a vacation that Justin Trudeau took. He was actually charged by the ethics committee because he broke federal laws by taking this free vacation to somebody that what's the term, Ed?
He's a lobbyist.
He's a lobbyist. Anyways, Trudeau took a vacation to a private island on a private helicopter to meet with high up Democrats from the United States, like John Kerry and people like that. Okay. Anyways, to the article. Just because you vacation with the Aga Khan, however often, doesn't make you one. You leave the idyllic island with no more religious authority than when you arrived. Come as a secular politician, leave as one. I think we may begin to wonder if Justin Trudeau understands this point. The Prime Minister has recently speaking as one should say ex Cathedra. I don't know what that word even means. Either of you?
It's Latin, and I couldn't translate.
Okay, anyways. One would say ex Cathedra declared a doctrinal test for anyone who wish to make application for student summer job grants. If any church, charity, or club wishes to apply for one successfully, it is insisted they endorse and declare in writing their agreement with the Liberal Party's understanding on A, abortion, and B, a whole raft of other progressive doctrines and dogmas on other sexual and gender issues.
With the full authority of office, especially of the Pope's infallibility, as defined in Roman Catholic doctrine. That's ex cathedra.
Okay, so he's speaking as the supreme authority on this matter. Okay.
In unison with God.
So, yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's a slam, dude. That's a slam.
Okay. It's a strange turn. How does one get from students trying to work off their education debts to a government insisting its citizens declare themselves on issues of the deepest moral and religious sensitivity, from student jobs to the rowling tumult of abortion politics? I guess there is more than one way to spin a hand person's tale. Are you now, or have you ever been a member of the Roman Catholic Church? That is one of the questions. Yes, no summer jobs for you. Under the latest Trudeau encyclical? E-N-C-Y-C-I.
Yeah, encyclical.
Okay, let me reread that then. Under the latest Trudeau encyclical, the priest, minister, imam, shaman, or rabbi would have to repudiate his faith. We return to the Bishop of 24 Sussex. That's the Prime Minister's house address. If anybody, never mind, I won't say that out loud. Okay,
Whoa! That
What?
was a joke.
It was, and I meant teepee with toilet paper
Okay.
or agate. Yes.
That was also a joke. We do not compel anyone to take any actions against any governmental officials.
We
Go
do
ahead.
not infer or
24 Sussex for explication. We don't have the secret police like you guys do. Suppose some parish council wants to do a cleanup of a town stream and figures with a grant it could help half a dozen debt-hounded students by giving them summer jobs under the latest Trudeau encyclical. The town's priest, minister, imam, shaman, or rabbi would have to publicly repudiate his faith on an official document and maul his conscience with a lie, thus playing roulette with their immortal souls. Religious people actually believe they have them. If the poor student are to be helped by said grants, does anyone think Mr. Trudeau more a stumbler than a specialist on the ethics front? He's overreaching here. Just a job. Dustin is like, I can't believe you said that.
Well, I'm just thinking about. I'm still thinking about the Pope Slam. Like, that's really good. I thought I got him when I called him, Joel Osteen.
Joel, but I mean, like, he's not acting any different.
Yeah.
Anyways, just a jot or a title. Has he really not read the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, a document on most occasions he treats as believers of old referenced the Sinai tablets? I'm not religious, so I don't know what that even means.
Sinai tablets. Those are the 10 Commandments.
Oh, we covered that before. You're right. Okay. It has essential prime rights, those of religious and conscience religious and conscience rights that are as ancient as the concept of rights itself, the pivot on which the ancillary rights depend. They are not rights that depend on calendar date, nor are they mere manifestations of particular transient political climate. Insofar as any rights are eternal, these are. The liberal platform of the day is not a synonym right large for the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Okay, I will stop there because this is just basically.
So what he's basically saying is that Justin Trudeau is overstepping the rights and freedoms of every religious and non-religious person in respect.
Well,
because you don't have to be religious.
Yeah.
You don't have to be religious and be pro-life. So even a non-religious person that's pro-life will be rejected if they answer that questionnaire honestly, and that goes against our fundamental rights and freedoms of this country.
The thing is, we're discussing the abortion, but if you heard in the article, I know that my reading is bumfuckery, but if you heard in that, it also brings up sexual orientation and gender issues, and a litany of other progressive issues. So remember, you have to fall in line with what they say in order to be able to. Like, it doesn't even make sense that he would even think he has the fucking authority. Like who the fuck does he think he is?
Yeah, he thinks he's a ruler of his own nation, and he's not. He's an elected representative, and in the next election, he will see that he cannot be ruler. He won't be ruler of Canada. This
is not hyperbole either. He has always had an affinitive and always had a liking and a calling to dictators. He just always has. China, Cuba. He really has. This isn't new.
He likes how dictatorships, like especially China, can control its citizens. He said that.
On a very similar and somewhat humorous note, I have enough Canadians on my Facebook at this point that I get these memes about how people think that he is actually Castro's son. You know, it'll have like a picture of his mom next to Castro, and it'll say like a very known to be loose woman. And then several pictures of how similar.
But they
look.
do look.
Oh,
they do what like when he's
yes.
young, man. And I don't know if you've seen. Okay, now I am not gonna play this game like this is total like conspiracy shit. But if you look at Pierre Trudeau, he is one ugly motherfucker. I don't know if you've ever seen Pierre Trudeau, Dustin. The guy is oogly.
Yeah, but he did date Marilyn Monroe.
So what? He's still oogly.
So did Kennedy. She clearly has a thing for fucking,
Ugly
rich
politicians. Well, what Dustin and I are saying is if you look at a young Castro, he's a pretty handsome dude, looks exactly like Justin Trudeau. You look at Pierre Trudeau, looks like he got hit in the face with an ugly shovel. That's all we're trying to say here.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
but we like a bit beyond hate speech. We're supposed to have freedom of expression, freedom of religion, and freedom of speech up until hate speech, like full stop in Canada. This is way overreaching. It's bullshit. It's keeping people from participating in the economy because of their beliefs, and I for one am disgusted by this. I really am. I know, like it sounds like I'm all worked up about it, but it is disgusting.
well, just think about it. He's not even, it's not even the opinions of the students. It's the companies that are going to hire them for the fucking summer.
Yeah.
Like, the kids could have different opinions to Justin Trudeau.
For sure. And, the thing that Ed brought up, I want to touch on, like, it probably was just like it slipped by because nobody really listens to Ed anyways, but
That's true.
just kidding, Ed. No. Okay, so when Harper was getting elected into office, and every time you see a conservative official getting elected into a provincial or even a municipality in Canada, everybody always freaks out about the abortions, right? Like everybody's like, oh, they're going to go after the abortions. But every single time, other than I think like a couple times in Saskatchewan, when the conservative gets in office, they're like, the abortion debate is over in Canada. It's been decided. Like, abortion is legal. We're not getting back into it. I may not believe in it, but I'm not getting back into it. The motherfucker that's actually touching the abortion shit is the one that nobody thought was going to. Because this is adding to the abortion stuff. This isn't taking away from. This is like adding to it.
Well, can you imagine someone that's really aggrieved about abortion that now has seen the Canadian Prime Minister trying to take his rights away for just agreeing with that?
I know, it's crazy. How does the American feel about it?
From the stance of an American, like addressing it that way, I don't give a fuck. I mean, that's bullshit.
Well, what if it was in your country?
Well, what I think about this is just coming from his ideology, I'm not surprised. It is all about fucking purity test. And I mean, and that's what you always get from these kind of Marxist demagogues. They preach this big game about equality, but they really only want to help the people that agree with them. And that's what you see is happening here.
I would say that in order to be the Prime Minister of Canada, you should have to not have written a love letter to fucking Castro.
Well, I don't. I know you're making a joke there, but I don't think that you should be able to ban.
Of course not.
Yeah, people based on that type of
he was saying goodbye to his dad.
Exactly.
That's why he wrote that shit. I don't really have too much left to say about it, other than like it's just that's not what his job is. His job isn't to decide what people believe and what they don't believe. Like it literally seems to me that he has a vision of like the Canada should be exactly what he thinks inside his head, and that he's willing to, through manipulating and through keeping people out of the economy, he wants to mold it in the image that he sees in his head.
Yeah, and one thing I like to say too is the fact that they aren't rights if the government can stomp on them and take them away from you. They're privileges, and he doesn't have the right. Sorry, the pun, but he doesn't have the authority to take my rights away, and I'm sick and tired of him trying to.
Yeah, and to answer your question, like, what would I do if this was happening in America? And don't get me wrong, I do care what happens in Canada, But this is I definitely care what happens in Canada. I care what happens in a lot of places, I suppose.
It's not Haiti.
I just not these shithole countries.
Hey, Haiti's one of the richest nations fucking Anderson Cooper ever been to. Anyways, go ahead.
No, I'll be upset about it and probably bring it into the show.
Yeah.
It would. I don't feel like they should be asking questions like that in the first place.
No. It should be like, do you pay your employees on time? Fucking, can we see your credit? How is your business history?
Keep it to business.
Do you have any fucking child molesters that work for you? Are we sending the kids into a dangerous situation? What's your safety record like? Are you up to date on your taxes? Those are the fucking questions that should be asked, not fucking, do you agree with abortion or not? Like, fuck off. No. Do you think, will you call them Z's or Zay? Like, fuck off.
I mean,
isn't he trying to do the same shit with NAFTA?
Well,
both of them are.
No, it's like both of them are playing their identity politics. Yeah, both of them are playing their because Trump is threatening. Sorry, bit off topic, but Trump is telling Mexico that if they don't pay for the wall, that he's pulling out of NAFTA, and Trudeau is saying like you need to have equal pay for men and women, whatever. The whole SJW thing. Anyways.
And China saying Ching Chong will. I'm just kidding.
Holy shit. Jesus Christ, Dustin.
Dustin, take that out.
Okay, segment is over. I quit. That's it. I quit. Stop. I can't take it anymore.
And he thought the freaking...
What they actually said was, Leho Ma.
What they really said was, come to eat his shitty wok. No,
What they actually said was, can we smuggle in Vietnamese people to make those dumbass North Americans their shit? That's what China actually said.
No, you sent me an article the other day that China is getting sick of his constant identity politicking as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, and to once go on another tangent, because we're only 5 minutes into this episode, to go on another tangent here, their identity politics has become so despised in China that they have come up with an insult for people that translates roughly to white liberal or white left.
White lefty.
Right. So, not everyone, not all of these minorities they're trying to protect share the feeling, it's funny, man. God, it's funny.
The thing is like so the majority of the country voted for Justin Trudeau. If he wants to play his fucking crazy feminist game here, he wants to do his fucking, I'm going to argue with it. I'm going to do that. But you can't go to the United States and be like, oh, we have 35 million people. Sign this or we won't trade. Trade with fucking China. And you can't go to China and be like, oh, you need to treat that's just not how their country is. Do business or don't do business with them, but don't go there and,
A good political leader shouldn't go to other countries and tell them how to run their fucking countries. Okay? Here's the thing. Western democracies, I feel like, should criticize each other, the leader should, but that's because there's a shared culture among them, vaguely speaking, in a very general sense, what happens in Australia does affect what happened in my country, to a certain extent. What happens in China as far as the way they treat their people and things, or the way they decide to structure their society, that's not so much that. It is literally the other side of the world, and who the fuck am I to tell them how to do their shit, man? If they think that's the way it should be done, fucking have at it, broskies. And that's the way, and put that shit aside when you're going to have particularly economic talks with other countries. Like, you shut the fuck up and you do what they do when you're there and you smile and you make both countries richer. You fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't see Trump telling Trudeau how to run Canada, right? Like, you don't see Trump saying, well, fucking, you must fucking cut the natives fucking wages or build a wall so the fucking, you know what I mean? He's not telling Trudeau how to fucking run. Shit,
Yeah, but I mean,
China isn't either.
Trudeau is being turned down from fucking
Because of this.
business deals. Yeah,
Yes,
but he's like a leper. He's like a leper going to a fucking prostitution ring. He's being turned down left, right, and center.
Well, he just, and here's a thing that you wouldn't have heard, Dustin, and the Americans, and probably in Finland, they didn't hear this comment, but when he was running, and I know like the conservatives use it in an attack ad, but he did actually say this, and I quote, "The economy will take care of itself." When he was running for office, Justin Trudeau actually said that.
That is the worst leftist I've ever heard. Like, how Randian of him.
It's like, it'll just fix itself. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anyway, let's go to
Trudeau's
the
a
break.
cunt. That's my last word on the subject. And that address again was 24 Sussex Avenue, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
More jokes.
No, but everybody in Canada knows that
address.
Yes, I know. I'm making jokes, gentlemen.
That's like 10 Downing Street in Britain.
Did you know that somebody actually did break into 24 Sussex Street? Do you know what they broke in there with?
A plastic knife, wasn't it?
Plastic KFC knife. That was when Chrétien was president or prime minister. Went in there to kill, and Chrétien's wife just talked to the guy until the police got there.
He tiptoed past the RCMP guards.
Some dude just ran all the way into the White House, tackled a lady that was guarding the door.
Did he get shot afterwards?
No. Joe Rogan has a whole bit about it.
Well, I'm surprised because so here after 9/11, right? Like when you go to the embassies before, they were like pretty open, the American embassies, but after 9/11, they started fucking putting big cement pillars and like the steel fucking gates that pop up out of the cement if somebody's trying to drive a truck into it. And I did some work in one of the American embassies here, and everywhere we went, we were followed by a Marine with a fucking machine gun. So I'm surprised somebody made it in there. Fuck.
Well, did they check your record, Dave?
No, because I was working for somebody else at that time.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Like you,
Okay.
My brother does a lot of electrical work on like some boats and things. He cannot do any governmental work because of a misdemeanor arrest 7 years ago.
Yeah, and I even worked on a Navy base.
Excuse me, 10 years ago. What the fuck? Oh man, yeah. No, we're really mean to convicts here. While we have the world, while we have the world's largest prison population, once you get out, fuck you. Yeah.
Fuck you. Yeah. Well, that's
fuck
why that's why you have the world's largest prison population, because
one of the many reasons. Many. Yeah. You can't say that's the reason about that one, man. There's not a single
Thanks,
thing
Obama. Thanks, Obama.
Thanks.
All right. We're going to head out for a break. We'll be right back.
We're going to come back a little upstream.
All right. We're back from the break. I was telling Dustin fucking stories, glory stories.
Glory hole stories.
Glory holes.
We'll let everyone at home decide which end of the magic he was on. Because I'm not telling.
Slurp, slurp, gurgle, gurgle, eyes watering.
Dave definitely blows and tells.
Yeah. Anyways, so Ed, we're going to be going to Britain, are we?
Yeah, I'm pretty pissed about this, actually. Here's the headline. I'll just read it. Judge spares mother of 5 from jail after she encouraged UK terror attacks on pro-ISIS Facebook group, as he tells her, the sooner you get back to your children, the better. Farhana Ahmed, 40.
What?
Farhana Ahmed, 40, posted
again?
I'm not saying that again. That's hard.
Is it Hannah Ahmed?
No, it's Farhana
Ahmed. Okay.
She's
Farhana
40.
Hot Mess.
Okay. Now, why was the Ching Chong joke worse than that? Someone tell me.
It wasn't. Moving on. Racist.
Yeah. She posted a string of ISIS propaganda on a Facebook group. She used a fake name as Kay Adams to encourage terrorism on Facebook.
Okay, hang on. If your name is you can't use the name Kay Adams. It just because it's not even on the same fucking spectrum.
But that's
it's
the
like
whole point.
A different fucking planet. And then Kay Adams.
Anyway, in September, Ahmed pled guilty to encouraging terrorism and 3 charges of disseminating terrorist propaganda. She was spared jail after the judge said, the sooner you get back to your children, the better. A mother who urged others to launch terror attacks in Britain was spared jail yesterday after a judge took pity on her 5 children. Farhana Ahmed, 40, shared a prolific quantity of Islamic State propaganda on Facebook, whose aim was to link extremists worldwide. She praised the Paris attacks and posted tips on how to carry out a stabbing, as well as links to a library of terrorist publications with videos and images of ISIS fighters. In 2015, she made 19 Facebook posts that directly or indirectly encouraged terrorism both within the UK and abroad. Ahmed had been in custody since July last year as she waited her trial. Her 5 homeschool children, aged between 6 and 16, were cared for by relatives. Judge Christopher Moss yesterday said he was moved by the letter from her daughter and ruled that she could return to her children. He had handed her a 2-year suspended jail sentence after she pled guilty to encouraging terrorism and 3 counts of disseminating terrorist documents. Judge Moss told her, in your exceptional case, the sooner you are returned to your children, the better, for all concerned. Since you were charged and reprimanded in custody, this has plainly had an extremely adverse effect on your children who have been looked after by family members. You express remorse for your actions, and I regard as completely genuine. It's quite clear to me that you regret in the strongest possible way your criminal conduct. Judge Moss said Ahmed made the post at a very difficult time in her life. He added, you have devoted your life apart from this abhorrent behavior to the care of your children. There is no realistic danger of you returning to the mindset evident of your conduct of 2 years ago. You want nothing more than to return to your family, and your family want nothing more than you to return to them. They have suffered greatly by your period in custody.
Fuck.
Yeah. Hold up, it gets even better.
Okay.
As she left the dock, Ahmed, who wore a headscarf, quietly said, "Thank you" to the judge. Last night, Conservative MP Philip Davies reacted to the decision with fury, saying, "It is completely outrageous that this woman hasn't been jailed. People will rightly wonder why, what you have to do to be sent to prison by the courts in this day and age." So she is. She used the group's name. Here's the thing. The group's name is a play on the superhero series Power Rangers. They're called the Power Strangers. The group grew from 721 members to 1,480 in 2 months after Ahmed joined. So the group doubled. And why do you think that this Power Strangers, or the play on the superhero series Power Rangers, was? I mean, why that was such a big deal? I think it has to do with the fact that she wants to indoctrinate young kids, maybe.
The same ones that they are rushing her home to, or more? More. But that's why she's making propaganda. Okay. Yeah,
obviously, her own kids are indoctrinated. Obviously. But Ed,
Mm-hmm.
I will see your release of know and pled guilty, conspired to commit terrorism and incite terrorism with European election candidate was quoting an anti-Islamic passage from Winston Churchill's book when he was arrested. A candidate in Europe in the European elections has been arrested after making a speech quoting from the book by Winston Churchill about Islam. Paul Watson, chairman of the far-right Liberty GB party, was making the speech on the steps of Winchester Guildhall, Hampshire, on Saturday when a member of the public complained to the police and he was arrested. He had been reading from Churchill's book, The River War, written in 1899 while he was a British Army officer in Sudan. Mr. Watson, who is standing as a candidate in the Southeast European elections, and this is from back in May, on May 22nd, was detained after he failed to comply with a request by police to move on under the powers of dispersal order made against him, and he was arrested on suspicion of religious racial harassment. A former UKIP candidate who fell out with the party over what he described as a failure to address issues around Islam in Britain went on to found the British Freedom Party. Okay, so a person who quoted the greatest prime minister England has ever known was arrested, and I know the quotes that he said. There was nothing. It was nothing that isn't true, and it was nothing that was racist. Yet this cunt can run around telling fuckheads to attack their fellow citizens under the name of fucking Allah, wah 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 wah. It doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, and he's not. I'll raise you another one. Okay, because that was here's a arrest for offensive Facebook and Twitter posts soar in London. 625 arrests were made for alleged Section 127 offenses in 2010 alone. According to the Register, a total of 2,500 Londoners have been arrested over the past 5 years for allegedly sending offensive messages via social media. In 2015, 857 people were detained. That's up by 37% since 2010. So the basic fine for breaking the law, it carries a 6-month jail prison term or fine up to £5,000. So, I mean, they're cracking down on average British citizens that are non-Muslim, but they're allowing Muslims to walk free when they're promoting terror on their own people in Britain.
What I just read too states that they would arrest Winston Churchill.
Yes. So Winston Churchill would be arrested in this day and age.
Yes.
Well, I raise you guys one Nazi pug.
Fucking cunt.
Yeah, so this YouTube comedian in Scotland has been arrested and is in the middle of a 2-year ongoing trial for teaching his. He's going to explain. I have the video here. First, I'm gonna play. I know there's going to be a link to this video. YouTube takes it down, so I don't know how long the link will work, but you can just search for Nazi Pug, and you'll find it. This one is titled "A Forgotten Hero." You're not forgotten, buddy. You're not forgotten. But I'm gonna play this.
My girlfriend is always ranting and raving about how cute and adorable her wee dog is, and so I thought I would turn them into the least cute thing that I could think of, which is a Nazi. Buddha. Do you want to gas the juice? Do you want to gas the juice? Mum will gas the juice, son. Do you want to gas the juice? Do you want to gas the juice? Come on, gas the juice. Come on, gas.
So he has taught this dog that the phrase "gas the Jews" means "Do you want a treat?" So he whenever he does this, the dog gets a treat and gets very excited about it.
Do you want to gas the juice?
The dog's just laying on its back and...
Do you want to gas the juice? Do you want to gas the juice?
Dog's asleep. Wakes up.
Juice.
Again, wakes up, just on juice.
Time to get up now, Buddha. It's time to get up.
Dog won't get up.
Gas the juice?
Wakes up. And then he has a little clip here where the dog is watching Hitler videos. Which is pretty funny, and then...
Do I get... Sieg Heil.
And he sticks his paw out for a handshake at Sieg Heil.
Sieg Heil. Sieg Heil.
So, and I love the way he's doing it too. Sieg Heil!
Like super gay Nazi.
Yeah, the gayest Nazi ever. But so the trial has been going on for 2 years now, which is officially longer than the Nuremberg trials went on, where we took care of the actual Nazis. The actual Nazis. And here's the thing, this guy, will he go to prison?
What are the actual charges? What are the actual charges?
Let me Google that. You caught me with my pants around my ankles here.
It's hate speech and inciting hate, religious hatred.
They tried to up the charge right now it's a maximum of 1 year that he could serve. They're trying to up the charge to where he can get 5 years, but it was denied. So the argument they're making is that this guy's clearly comedic video, right? Clearly comedic video. They're trying to say that it is actual Nazi propaganda. And he is using this dog as a clever, cute mascot for Nazis.
Well, didn't they catch the beginning of the video when he said he thought of the most uncute thing possible, and that turns out to be a Nazi?
But Dave, Nazis are super clever. You see, he got you.
Yes.
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? Yeah, that's why they won that war.
They're always hiding their hatred of the Jews.
I know
they're real undercover.
They were super known for not marching down the street. Fucking not known.
Tiki, like they're subtle people. There's no tiki torches and
right.
Man.
But I mean, he's also has hundreds of letters from Jewish people saying, this is a joke. We're not offended by this. But it's not admissible because they don't come from Scotland. They have to be Scottish. It doesn't count. No.
So if anyone knows a Scottish Jew, here's to you, buddy.
Okay, I'll up you that, man. You're Count Dankula.
Come on.
Fuck off.
British police just imprisoned a man for posting mean things about Muslims on Facebook.
Oh, you already did that. You
No,
did like
this guy's
3,000 of
actually in
those.
prison.
No, this guy is actually in prison.
Oh,
He's in prison right now.
oh yeah, a lot
On
of
8 counts. 8 counts of saying mean things to Muslims on Facebook, and he's serving more than a year in prison in Sussex County, in southwest England, or southeast England. The charges brought in this case are extremely serious and were only brought against 4 people in England and Wales during 2016, said Sussex Police hate crime sergeant Peter Allen. Hate crime. Holy Christ. Really, people?
But what did he say, though, Ed?
I'm trying to find it. I don't think they actually...
The pug's funnier.
Yeah, but I mean, literally... It is, I mean, he's arrested. He's in jail for over a year now.
Yeah, that's
for
crazy.
Hate speech.
Crazy talk.
I mean, okay. So he got 20 months for each of the 8 counts.
For each of them?
Yeah.
So he's in jail for way more than a year.
No. They were running concurrent.
Oh, running concurrent. Okay.
And he has to also pay £100 to the victim.
Did she give him head?
No. And it just the guy's last name is Pelham. He was arrested just days after a bigoted anti-Muslim extremist plowed a van into a pile of Muslim worshippers outside of a mosque in northwest London. So.
Well, I heard that he was just returning their van.
Ooh, no, okay. No, that's no. Oh, that's bad. That's bad.
What? So Muslims don't fucking drive vans into crowds of people?
No, they
do.
No, they never return rentals. Never. They always steal them. They always steal them.
He was giving it back to them. They left it in France, and he delivered it in England.
Oh no! Which is hard. I hear there's a lot of concrete barriers now.
Oh, okay. Oh man, this is getting bad.
What do you mean it's getting? I didn't run people over.
It's getting true. It's getting true.
I didn't run anybody over, Ed.
I know, but it's sad to say that this day and age that people's freedom of expression, that means also the freedom to hate people that you don't like. I mean, to say that in public is now considered an offense that is jailable. However, if you want to distribute ISIS propaganda, all you have to do is have some cute kids that write you a letter, and you can get out of jail.
This is insane. That's England, though, right?
Yeah.
Jesus
well,
Christ.
England is upstream culture-wise. Excuse me, that is still kind of your country.
Yeah, no, and I was just about to make a point. So when Trudeau was asked before which country he respects the most, his answer was China. When China kicked him out of the country, said, "Beat it, nerd." He was asked which country he respects the most. His answer was that he respects the British Parliament the most.
Why?
Probably because they're arresting people for insulting Muslims.
Yeah, like big time arresting them. Okay, here's how bad it is in Britain right now. There's a town of Rotterdam, and it has 1,400 Rotterdam that has 1,400 girls that have been groomed. It's what they call the term grooming, where they a group of Muslim Pakistani men have basically pimped these girls out. They're 11, 12, 13-year-olds.
Hey. In England, we call them Asian, okay?
Okay.
We don't mention Muslim. Okay, don't.
That's right. They're not allowed to mention their religion. But the grooming gangs, there's 1,400 girls that have been put through this grooming process. And it went on for years. The police knew, so did social services, so did government officials, and did nothing about it because they didn't want to be called racist. That's a fact.
Right.
That came out in a report from the government. It's a fact.
Right. We've slightly left the subject of free speech, but I mean, this is horrific.
No, but,
I mean, this is a story that needs to be talked about often. So I'm glad you brought it up.
The reason why I brought it up is because people are actually been arrested for commenting on that report.
Oh shit!
Yeah, in Britain. Yeah, I'm not joking. That's why I brought it up. People were actually commenting and frustrating, and commenting about their frustrations about this, and they've been arrested and put in jail. So,
man,
the state of there is no free speech in Britain anymore.
Holy shit!
It's a post-free speech world.
They definitely would arrest Winston Churchill at this point.
They would, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was his thing was.
See, I would be a fucking outlaw. It sounds like, and they're holy shit.
It's scary. It's a scary world. When one of the biggest Western powers in the world is now cracking down on fundamental freedoms.
That's my motherland too.
Yeah, that's where you were born.
My motherland. Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's where you're born. It's still the the crown of your country.
And, it's the language I speak.
I
speak colonialism. Yeah,
and is one of the largest influences internationally on my country, besides yours. Which, so
I'm sure, period in the world. At one point the sun never set on the British Empire.
Does it now?
No. If you consider the Commonwealth, they're not exactly subjects anymore, but it still doesn't if you consider the Commonwealth. But I mean, as far as modernized democracy and modern civilization, sure, yeah, Britain for sure has the
sun never sets on the Anglosphere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My biggest concern is British jurisprudence coming to Canada because we look to Britain for a lot of our jurisprudence. So their laws might be coming to a place near you, Dave.
Well,
and me.
I don't know.
Our hate speech.
Yeah, of course it came from there. Our whole parliament is based on that. I just our immigration process is different though. That's the thing.
Yeah, very little.
But it's different.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
I mean, don't get me wrong. That's great.
No, it does matter, and it matters in this way. Okay, the percentage of Islamic people makes a difference.
But what I'm saying, Dave, is that you have a nasty habit of saying terribly honest things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So it doesn't help you in that way, which is my thought in this situation.
Yes.
Because I kind of like you, dude.
Well, they can come and arrest me for saying honest things. I'll say honest things when I get out too. I'm not. I wouldn't change anything. Even they can, if they did what they've done in Britain, then I'll. That is one thing I would. I'll jump on the sword at that point.
Yeah, me too. I figure that today part of my defense is saying that if you're going to silence me for what I say, then you have to take every Bible, every Quran, and every Torah out of every synagogue because it promotes hate and genocide. Sorry, it just does.
Fair enough. Funny enough, off air, you mentioned that you were concerned. Sometimes about me, Dave, because I have a regular man's job. Someone could contact my job. Yeah, man. And the best part about regular man jobs is you can always find another one. And also I have zero concern about any time in the near future where people will be arrested in Alabama for speech. Particularly my opinions. I don't. Funny enough, reddest of red states, my man. Trumpest of Trump. We still love Trump. We in the collective state of Alabama. I'm not speaking for myself here, but
But I think your country has something that no other country has on the planet. And that's that First Amendment is so ironclad. It's a big threshold to overcome it. You know what I'm saying? It's really ironclad. Your right to freedom of speech and expression is outlined succinctly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, like, you don't even need to be Canadian, though, to be arrested in Canada for hate speech. So did you know that?
Yeah, that's true.
Did you know that, Dustin?
Say that again, sir.
You don't need to be Canadian to be arrested in Canada for hate speech.
Okay, so they want to extradite me to Canada for hate speech, like hypothetically speaking.
Hang on. Hypothetically speaking, you don't even have to actually say it. It can just be on an iPad. American speaker arrested in Canada for smuggling hate speech on his iPad.
Okay, for visiting Canada.
Yes. Wild Bill for America. I don't know if you two have ever seen that guy. He's a fucking moron. Also known as William Finley, a popular author and speaker, was arrested today, June 24, 2017, at a Canadian airport for smuggling hate speech on his iPad. He was invited to speak at an event at Calgary's Olympic Plaza called the Patriotic Unity Mega Festival.
Jesus. That sounds like redneck.
Coordinated by Canada's Worldwide Coalition Against Islam. So he was obviously out against Islam, which also has organizations in Europe and Australia. A special event permit for the event was denied by Calgary's Department of Canadian Recreation, according to an article by CBC News, on the basis that the organization and message it espoused are hateful. But event spokesman Jeremy Phillips responded on Facebook, "We are going to march downtown and show the biased city officials that we will not be silenced. It's all about standing up for our rights and our freedoms. We are not interested in a violent confrontation or anything like that. It's all about having peaceful protest."
Listen, I don't believe that there's and we've talked about this before, there's a limit on the freedom of speech.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I think that hate speech laws are bullshit. It's subjective, and people can be arrested for the subjective whim of the majority of the country. I think that's wrong, and it goes against any fundamental freedom.
The reality of what's going on here, though, Ed, is that you're not seeing anybody arrested for hate speech against atheists, and you're not seeing anybody arrested against hate speech against Muslims, or not Muslims, Christians or Jews. Mm-hmm. You're only seeing it for Muslims.
Or against British citizens, telling people to actually take action for for an organization and ideology that you're actually at war with, ISIS, an entity, let's call it, like we're Star Trek. So that's green lighted. Once again, that is the point of the segment, right, guys?
Yes, yeah. It's the weird fixation that the political left and the SJW culture has with protecting Islam.
Yeah.
Which would fucking behead them in a second if they had the opportunity.
Correct. I mean, the funniest thing I ever saw was gays for Palestine. If they were in an Islamic country, they would be killed.
Well, I saw gays for Islam, never mind just Palestine.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous because, anyway, I mean, the fact is, why aren't there people being arrested for hate speech against Jewish people when our Jewish people in our country receive the most abuse and hatred towards them of all groups?
Per capita, right?
Yeah, per capita, yeah.
Listen, what happened last fall does suck, though, right?
Yeah, no one's excused. Like, someone going into a mosque and killing people is disturbing. I mean, that person should get the full weight of the law, and if we had capital punishment, he should have gotten it. But we don't. No one deserves that. We're criticizing ideas here, not people. Individual people are above reproach. Criticize ideas, people. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, I think that's fucking all I have to say about fucking shitty fucking fucks. Can't believe they're trampling on us like this. Like just your speech, like your fundamental expression, like how you deal with people in it is the basis of Western culture and Western society is the freedom to speak.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, without the freedom of speech, we do not have any rights. There are no rights to have. You cannot face any society without the freedom of speech that's going to function properly.
Dave, me and you need to start a political comic thing, okay? With your talent and my sense of humor, you see, because we need like a Joel Osteen Trudeau in a Pope uniform and a fucking saluting Nazi pug. That's what we fucking need. That's what the world needs. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, humor.
Can I draw him in like one of those really cheesy metallic suits? Like those. Have you ever seen those? Like the really like shiny suits. Justin Trudeau.
Yes.
The Joel Osteen, like a shiny suit.
Give him a little like sheen on his teeth where he's smiling real big, teeth, and give him the Pope septum, or some sort of
scepter.
Scepter. Excuse me. You're right. Yes. Scepter. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. And the pug has a Nazi hat.
The pug has
or does he have the Hitler part?
Okay. He needs the part, and he needs the mustache, and he needs a BDSM collar with SS
on the sides and the Iron Cross.
Yes, and an iron cross. Yes, that's
and
what
the
we
eagle
need.
And the eagle tattooed on his shoulder.
Okay, I need it.
But you know why in many cultures where they have authoritarians that humor is not allowed? Because humor demystifies authority.
Yes.
And it's the first thing to go in any of these authoritarian regimes, like Islam, for instance, like the Soviet Union was.
Like the UK?
Like the UK. You can't joke. You can get fucking arrested for swearing out front of a soccer game in Britain.
Well, I'll hold the phone now, though. That one I'm going to agree with.
Wow, for saying fuck you at a football game? Really?
Their fucking stadiums collapse because they fight so much, Ed.
Yeah, but I mean...
They're retarded. I'm just kidding. I don't really agree with it. Have you ever watched, like, Football Factory or, like, The Real Football Factory? Do you know about the fucking football hooligans?
Yeah, the football hooligans are fucking
Well, that's why they
legendary.
Why they did that. That's why they did that shit.
Yeah, I know, because it was dangerous, man.
Like, you couldn't even go to a game. Never mind.
No.
Yeah, people would actually get killed at these things.
Yes.
Yeah, to reiterate, I've talked about it before on the show. I'm in absolute defense of all humor, and that's why I make the jokes that I do.
And can I just say one last thing about the football hooligans?
No.
You know how vehemently they're for their team, Dave?
Yes.
Like they're crazy about the team. Did a protest in the football association?
Yes.
All different teams from all over the UK marched in London, and they were all peaceful. They were marching against Islam.
Yes. Yeah. So for Americans, the team that you support or the club that you support would be like having the Crips, the Bloods, the Vice Lords, and all the other street gangs marching peacefully in the same march against something else. That's basically what happened there.
They have the right to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was just surprising that they were so peaceful. Usually these guys are ready to punch the face off each other. Literally.
Anyways, in the future, we're planning on going live with video.
Yeah, we're working out the kinks on you.
We're working out the kinks.
Man, you're throwing this out there. Are you sure you want to make that announcement, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I already have a face for radio, though.
You have to, yeah.
Well, Ed, you have to stop hiding behind that. Yeah, you have to. I have the enunciation of radio. You're gonna have to stop hiding behind that. Excuse me.
He's gonna.
I have the enunciation of. No, I don't. Not of radio. No. What's the joke there?
You have the face for radio and the voice for TV.
Face for radio and a voice for telegrams.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, writing a letter. Yeah.
Face for text or voice for text message.
Yeah. There you go. Fair enough.
FaceTime me, bitch. Okay. Anyways, I think that's it. Yeah. So check that out in the near future.
Yeah.
Somebody leave a comment too. I'm getting fucking lonely.
Yeah, I think we're going to start leaning a little more on YouTube. You know, that's where we'll be going live. So everyone can find us at Everyone's Wrong Podcast on YouTube. Go there, search. I believe it's youtube.com/Everyone's Wrong Podcast, but I could be wrong there. There is a link in the description for every single episode to our YouTube. Go ahead, Dave.
Are we going to be able to put a link in the Facebook group for people to be able to find the live?
Yes. And I'll say this: anyone that would, that listens and would like to track us closely, the Facebook group is, and I know not everyone likes Facebook. That is where we are most active. I might put Ed on the Twitter. He's a Twitter guy, and we might get more active there.
He's a Twitter, right?
Yeah, he twatter. So we'll, but that's where I personally am a lot, and Dave too. So that's where we'll also put links to all of it there. When you subscribe to us, you'll get a notification when we go live. It'll be Fridays and Saturdays, probably every week. We will also probably continue to put out the podcast and maybe even break it down into segments. We'll iron all that out.
All right, later.
Let us know what you guys think and want.
I'm putting a poll on Twitter right now. Should we go live, yes or no?
Okay, I'll put a poll on Facebook as well.
I'll put my poll in the vagina. Later, you fucks.
You've been listening to the Everyone's Wrong podcast. You can find us on our homepage at Spreaker.com/Everyone's Wrong. You can also find us on iTunes and YouTube by searching for Everyone's Wrong podcast, or you can listen to us on your podcast app of choice by importing our RSS feed. You can follow us on Facebook.com/Everyone's Wrong, or join our closed Facebook group by searching Facebook for Everyone's Wrong After Hours. You can tweet us at wrong_pod or email us at everyone'swrongpodcast@gmail.com.